Welcome back to week 2 of Fantasy Football Fridays. I'm Brody Heidemann, joined by Drew Rhoades and Peyton Parker. And today we're going to be going over our starts and sits for week 6 of the NFL, along with our score predictions. Start off with, we got the Ravens 3-2 taking on the Titans 2-3. I mean, it's a pretty balanced game. I'd say start DeAndre Hopkins coming off the big game. He's back in the lineup, playing good. And then I'd sit Zay Flowers. Really hasn't been productive, hasn't been consistent. My prediction for the game, Titans 23, Ravens 7.
Yeah, my starts and sits for the game, Lamar Jackson. Titans allow a lot of receiving yards, so if he's actually throwing the ball and not running, then that would be very good for them. And my sit is Derrick Henry. The Ravens only allow like 90 yards of rushing a game, so probably won't be too big for him.
I actually have start Zay Flowers. I mean, he's a rookie holding the ball. He puts up relatively decent numbers. I have sit Derrick Henry. He's a good player, but, I mean, the Ravens' defense is solid.
I agree with that.
I have Ravens 17, Titans 10.
Next up, we got the Commanders 2-3 taking on the Falcons 3-2. And, Terry McLaurin, he's been consistent so far this season. Obviously, Sam Howell, not the best quarterback in the world, but he's been fine. I would say start Terry McLaurin. I think he has a big game. Falcons secondary. AJ Terrell taking him on. Hasn't been anything special this season. I would sit Brian Robinson, not Bijan Robinson, but Brian Robinson. I do think the Falcons are going to shut them down, and the Commanders are going to heavily rely on the pass game. My prediction for the game, Commanders 28, Falcons 20.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you on the pass game, but I would start Jonnu Smith. The Commanders' pass defense is not very good. Jonnu Smith has the most targets on the team, and I would sit Kyle Pitts. He had a big week last week. I don't think he's been utilized as much with Jonnu Smith. So,
all right, I'll actually disagree with Brody. I think you should sit Terry McLaurin. He's been all over the place point-wise, and the Atlanta defense has a solid pass defense. I'd actually start Bijan Robinson. Like, he's been a dog all season. He's been carrying the ball, had double-digit points every game. So I have the Commanders winning 24-27.
Next up, we got the Vikings 1-4 taking on the Bears 1-4. The Vikings, big loss with Justin Jefferson being out for multiple weeks. But I think it's going to really open up the pass game for Jordan Addison. I think my start of the week is Jordan Addison. My sit, although he had a good week last week, Justin Fields really hasn't been anything special this season besides for a few games. I think he was a one-hit wonder last week. I would sit Justin Fields. My score prediction, I think the Vikings run away with this one, 31, Bears 13.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you. With Justin Jefferson being out, Jordan Addison, he's had a pretty consistent year, consistent 10-point score. I think that could be much higher this week with Justin Jefferson not being targeted at all because he's out. And my sit would be Khalil Herbert. A lot of people thought he'd be touching the ball all the time, scoring touchdowns, but he really's been underwhelming to say the least this year. And my prediction is Vikings 35, Bears 13.
All right, I have to agree on both you guys with the Jordan Addison pick. I think you should start him. He'll get way more touches considering Justin Jefferson is out. I expect a big game out of him. I sit Rashawn Johnson. He could be in possible concussion protocol, so I have the Vikings winning this one 34-20.
Next up, the Seahawks 3-1 taking on the Bengals 2-3. Bengals had a bounce back week last week. Jamar Chase, massive game. Joe Burrow, massive game. I think this game is going to be a lot better than many think. My start, I said sit him last week. Not the best pick in the world, but I'd start Joe Burrow. I think he's getting he's getting on fire. Don't let Burrow get on fire. But I would start Burrow. I would sit Geno Smith and Tyler Lockett. Cam Taylor-Britt has really emerged as a second-year cornerback for the Bengals. Had the pick 6 last week. I think he shuts down Tyler Lockett. My prediction, Bengals 41, Seahawks 23. I think it's a high-scoring game, even though the Seahawks have a good defense.
Yeah, I'm going to have to disagree with you, Brody. I'm sitting Joe Burrow. He struggled, and I think that game, they played the Cardinals last week, Cardinals aren't that good a team. I think that's just a one-hit wonder. And I'm starting Kenneth Walker. He's had a great season so far. Bengals allow 150 yards rushing per game, so he should feast. And I got the Bengals winning 31 to the Seahawks 17.
Yeah, Peyton, you really took the words out of my mouth. I'll have to sit Joe Burrow. Like you said, he's been struggling recently. I know he's been getting hot, but I'd still sit him. I'd start Geno Smith. I mean, he's coming off a bye week, so I think he'll have fresh legs, a fresh arm, and his wideouts will have nice success down the field. With this one, I have Seahawks winning 30-27. Close game.
Next up, we got the 49ers coming off the hot victory against the Cowboys. I don't think there's a higher team in football than the 49ers, taking on the Browns, coming out of the bye week. Browns will be without Deshaun Watson, I believe, again. And I want to say they're leaning towards sitting Dorian Thompson-Robinson. I can't remember who they said is going to play quarterback for them. Because of that, I'm saying sit Amari Cooper. I don't think anybody on that offense is going to be very productive. I think the Browns are really not going to get anything done. It might start showing up. I think he's playing like an MVP right now. Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant. He has been on fire. I think he's going to go off again. My prediction, 49ers 48, Browns 10.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you on the passing game, obviously, for the Browns. I'm sitting Deshaun Watson. We don't know if he'll be back or not. And 49ers have a really good defense, so either way, whoever starts, not going to be likely that they'll get much done. And my start is Brandon Ayuk. He didn't see the ball very much last week. He should be getting more targets and touches against the Browns. And my prediction is 49ers 35, Browns 10.
Yeah, I'm actually going to sit Deebo Samuel this week.
Like
he hasn't
that
got many receptions because of Ayuk. And I don't know, the Browns have a pretty good defense, but I would.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I would start Christian McCaffrey. I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer there. I mean, Browns do have a good defense, like I said, but he's been running back one all year. But I think the score will be 49ers 24, Browns 10.
Ooh, low scoring.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, Panthers 0-5. Nothing working for them. I think we said last week. I think this Panthers team, I don't think they're very good. Dolphins, though, 4-1. They have just been cruising. Had the loss to the Bills, but this Dolphins squad, they're amazing. Did just lose Devin A-Chain, which makes me want to start Raheem Mostert even more. I think Mostert's going to get lots of touches. Jeff Wilson Jr. is active. Don't know if we'll see much of him, but I think Raheem Mostert, he's my star. And my sit, Miles Sanders, he has done nothing. I'd say him along with Adam Thielen and Bryce Young. I think they get shut down. I don't think it's a very high-scoring game for the Panthers. My prediction, Dolphins 35, Panthers 14.
Yeah, in this game, I would start Tyreek Hill. He averages around 15 points per game. He's very consistent, and the Panthers are not good at all. So my sit would be any player on the Panthers roster. It doesn't matter offense or defense. You should not be starting anybody on the Panthers. My score prediction is Dolphins 42, Panthers 7.
Yeah, that's a great point, Peyton. I mean, if you do have the Panthers defense, which I don't know who does, I think you should sit them. I mean, Dolphins have the third-ranked offense and scores many points. And that's why I think you should start Tua. He's put up solid numbers the past couple of weeks, and I think he'll put up a lot this week. That's why I have Dolphins winning 51-17.
Battle of the 3-2 teams. Colts taking on the Jaguars, and Colts getting back Jonathan Taylor, losing Anthony Richardson. Gardner Minshew will be in at quarterback. I think this is going to result in Jonathan Taylor getting a lot more touches. I would start Jonathan Taylor, but also Calvin Ridley coming off the 100-yard receiving game. I think Calvin Ridley is going to get on fire in this offense. I think he turns into Trevor Lawrence's number one target. I would start Calvin Ridley as well. My sit, although Michael Pittman was targeted 9 times last time Gardner Minshew played, I don't think he's going to be very active and very hot this game. I would sit Michael Pittman. My prediction, low-scoring game, Jaguars 20, Colts 18.
I'm going to have to agree with you on Michael Pittman. With Anthony Richardson being out and their pass game just not being very good this season, I wouldn't rely on it. And my start, Christian Kirk. The Colts secondary gives up 282 receiving yards per game.
Wow.
My score prediction is Jags 27, Colts 17.
Yeah, I'm going to sit Trevor Lawrence. I mean, the Colts do have a weak pass defense, but, you know, he's just been nothing but mid this season. And I'm going to start Travis Etienne. He's projected 17 points, which I think is a lot coming from a running back. And he is also coming off a 36-point game last week. So I think he could get it done. And that's why I have the Jaguars winning 17-14.
Next up, Saints 3-2 coming into the game versus the Texans 2-3. And I think this Texans team, they are a lot more underrated than anybody's given them. Coming off the loss to the Falcons, I think the Falcons won by 2 points. I would start Tank Dell and CJ Stroud. I think their dynamic duo they're rookies, but it is heating up and they're getting hot at the right time. I would sit Derek Carr. I don't think he's had anything special so far. But you got Alvin Kamara back. I don't think it's going to really do much for him. My prediction, I think Texans 30, Saints 17.
Yeah. For my start, I'm going to start Alvin Kamara. He's had 2 hot weeks back, and I think he'll continue that trend. I don't see him slowing down. And my sit is Damian Pierce. He's been underwhelming this season, and the Saints have a very good run defense that only allows 92 yards a game. So I'm going Saints 24, Texans 7.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with that Damian Pierce sit. I mean, has been nothing but a letdown this season. I'd have to agree. And I'd also start Alvin Kamara. I mean, he's put up big numbers in his first 2 weeks back, which I personally did not expect. So I have Saints 21, Texans 7.
Oh, now we got to talk about this Patriots offense. Patriots 1-4, taking on the Raiders. I mean, I put for my sit any Patriots offensive player. Mac Jones, horrendous. The wide receivers, horrendous. Ramondre Stevenson, horrendous. Any Patriots player, sit them. And I would start Josh Jacobs. I think he's going to get hot. This Patriots run defense, not the best in the league. I think this is a blowout. I think Belichick, he's on the hot seat. I hate to say it, but I think Belichick's on the hot seat. My prediction, Raiders 42, Patriots 3.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you on the sit. I put Mac Jones. He's just been playing awful. And there's no reason for him to be on your team. You should drop him, to be honest. And my start is Devontae Adams. He's a consistent 14, 15-point scorer. And in most leagues, he should have no trouble getting there, whether you're in your PPR or whatever. And my my score prediction is Raiders 31, Pats 9.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with both of you guys. I mean, you should sit Ramondre Stevenson. I mean, I feel like he had a lot of hype behind his name at the start of the year, but he's been nothing but awful. That's why I think you should start the Raiders defense. I mean, Patriots offense has produced nothing this year. With their last 3 games, they put up 0, 3, and 10 points. So I feel like you can get a lot of points out of them this week, and that's why I have the Raiders winning 34-7.
Next up, we got the Rams 2-3 taking on the Cardinals 1-4. And a lot of people thought Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp weren't going to work in the offense together. Targets were going to be taken away, but last week really showed that both these wide receivers can work together. And I mean, Puka Nacua getting the receiving touchdown last week, Cooper Kupp putting up 100 yards in his first game back. My start, Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. I think these guys are going to just be a good duo on offense. I don't think they're going to really take any targets from each other. Matthew Stafford, he has his favorites, all that, but still. And I would sit Zach Ertz. He's been mid so far this season, but Joshua Dobbs, I think this secondary of the Rams is going to kind of shut down Zach Ertz. Don't think he'll see very much touches. My prediction, Rams 24, Cardinals 7, low scoring affair.
I'm going to have to agree with you for the offensive start. Puka Nacua, Cardinals receiving defense is terrible. They give up 275 yards a game, and he should have a pretty big game this week. I'm going to sit Zach Ertz. Joshua Dobbs being in quarterback doesn't really help him. Just their receiving offense, their passing offense is not very good. And my score prediction is Cardinals 21, Rams 14.
Yeah, exactly right, you guys. I'm sitting Joshua Dobbs. Rams don't have the greatest pass defense, but he has been not the greatest this year. I'm also going to start Cooper Kupp. Some people might hesitate on him considering it's the second game back, and Nacua has been doing well, but he still put up 20 points last game. But despite this, I have Cardinals winning 28, Rams 17.
Ooh. Next up, we got the Eagles 5-0 taking on the Jets. Jets obviously losing Aaron Rodgers. Haven't been very productive so far this year. I think they're better than anybody's going to give them. I think Breece Hall, he's getting healthy. He got the 75-yard touchdown last week. My start, Breece Hall yet again, along with Dallas Goedert. I think Goedert is going to step up, be this top tight end in the league. I would sit Dalvin Cook if you still have him. I don't think he's going to get very many touches this week. My prediction, Eagles 40, Jets 20.
My start is Jalen Hurts. He's been consistently scoring, rushing, or passing touchdowns this season. Should have a big week. Jets defense is pretty good, but their offense is just better. And my sit is Devontae Smith. He will match up against Sauce Gardner. The Eagles wide receivers won't be open at all. The Jets secondary is pretty good. My score prediction is Eagles 23, Jets 3.
Yeah, I think you should actually sit Breece Hall. I mean, despite him putting up 29 points last week, it was against the weak Broncos defense. and the Eagles have a great running defense. I think you should start Jalen Hurts. He's been scoring all over the field, but yeah, he's been putting up a lot of points. I have Eagles winning 27-13.
Lions taking on the Buccaneers, 4-1 versus 3-1. I would start David Montgomery. I mean, he's been pretty good. Put up, I want to say 20 plus last week.
Yep.
And I would sit Jahmyr Gibbs, not very good. My prediction: Lions 31, Buccaneers 18.
My start, David Montgomery. I'm going to have to agree with you, Brody. He's going to get almost all the running back touches. Jahmyr Gibbs never sees the ball. And my sit is Rashad White. He's the Buccaneers starting running back. Lions have one of the best defenses in the league. They've improved so much since last season. My score prediction is Lions 31, Bucs 17.
Yeah, I'm actually sitting Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, he's a great running back, but he's behind Montgomery. That's why I'm starting Montgomery. I mean, he's projected 15. He's been solid all year. I have Lions losing 24-30.
Ooh. Next up, Giants 1-4 taking on the Bills 3-2. I think it's arguable to say the Giants are the worst team in the NFL. Don't know. Very much is working for him. I would start Darren Waller. He's listed as questionable. I think he's going to play. He's Daniel Jones' top target if Daniel Jones plays. And then my sit, Saquon Barkley, hasn't been good. Might be injured again. My prediction, Bills 28, Giants 13.
My start, Josh Allen. He's going to have a big passing game against the Giants defense. My sit is Daniel Jones. He's questionable, and even if he does play, will most likely be under pressure against the Bills' pass rush and his terrible offensive line.
Yeah.
My score prediction is Bills 38, Giants 17.
Yeah, I'm sitting Saquon. I mean, he's still questionable. He's been out the last 3 weeks. Even if he is back, might not be the greatest performance. I'm going to start Stephon Diggs. He's put up 4 20-point or more games and is a solid wide receiver 1. And my score prediction, Giants lose to the Bills 13-40.
Last up, we got the Cowboys 3-2 taking on the Chargers 2-2. My start coming back from his injury, Austin Eckler. And I also start CD Lamb. Oh, let's restart that. Cowboys 3-2 taking on the Chargers 2-2. I would start Austin Eckler coming off his injury, and I would also start CD Lamb. He's been a little hot lately. I think he's going to do good. And my sit, I don't think Dak Prescott's very good. I think he's going to play fine, but I don't think he's going to get. Oh my God, Drew. Okay. I would sit Dak Prescott. I don't think he's going to do very good. He hasn't been very hot lately. A lot of interceptions. My prediction, Chargers 31, Cowboys 30.
I'm going to have to agree with you on starting running backs, but I would start the Cowboys running back, Tony Pollard. The Chargers defense is below average. He should feast on them. And I'm sitting Keenan Allen. He's playing a top 10 secondary and will very likely not get many passing targets this week. My score prediction, Cowboys 27, Chargers 20.
Yeah, I'm actually going to sit Dak Prescott. He hasn't been too overly impressive this year. I mean, he put up 5 points last week. That's pretty garbage. And I am going to start Eckler. He claims to be 99% sure he'll play on Monday. So, yeah, that's why I'm having the Cowboys winning 31-24.
Thanks for tuning in today, folks. I'm Brody Heidemann alongside Drew Rhoades and Peyton Parker with the Wingspan, and we will see you next week.